Hello everybody, I'm Dutch, and welcome back to another live stream. So this is going to be the last one of the season. We're going to take a couple weeks, maybe a month off. We want to do a lot of questions and answers. We've been trying to do this since the very beginning, but it's always difficult to get the questions fed to me, but hopefully we can do that better. I got some questions that I asked for people to put in some questions on Facebook today, and we're going to start with them. But if you have any questions that you want to ask, put that down in the comments section, and hopefully they can feed them to me. It is logistically a challenge to get these to me, but we will try to do it really well this time because we've been working on it. All right, so questions that were from today. I'm going to do some of these questions, and then I'm going to go over, like we promised, about some of the practices that we use here and the innovations that we hope to be coming out with, not only in the past, but also in the future. Right away, Richard Nance. Richard, love you. So, without telling any trade secrets, can you go into more detail on the bonding process of the tarps? You know, I think really the bonding of our tarps is, nothing speaks louder about the innovation of Dutchware than that. It is really what I mean when I talk about the Dutchware difference, that we are trying to find a new way and a better way to do things to make your time outdoors more enjoyable. And we are really proud of the bonding. So I do not mind sharing that. And I hope you find this entertaining and enlightening. So, problem with sil nylon or sil poly is that adhesives don't stick to it. And we had to develop adhesive just for doing that. We worked with 3M to come out with an adhesive, and well, we have never really had a failure on the ridge line or the reinforcements, and it has worked out fantastically. We stopped sewing the ridge lines of tarps, and we are now doing only bonded tarps because, well, we feel it is the very best. The reason it's the best is not putting stitches down through right the middle where your tarp is, and your tarp won't leak. You don't have to seam seal. So this is the way. I want you to imagine this roll being much bigger. We get this stuff in 54-inch wide rolls, and this is the adhesive. It's the way it comes. We have a slitter that is like a big meat slicer, and we stick the roll on there, and we come down and we slice it into, well, bologna slices. And we generally put them in 1-inch slices, but sometimes we put them in 4-inch slices so that we can do the reinforcements and the pullouts. And this is a pressure-sensitive tape. This is not done with heat. We have to use an extreme amount of pressure to make this adhesive work. And then after that, it has to cure. The actual process for doing the ridge line, which is some of the best part, is we take the adhesive. It actually, it looks like a tape, and you would think that it's a tape, but it is really an adhesive between two, they call them carriers, and that, it looks like this. So when we want to apply it, we peel off the one side. Now usually we're really straight, but we just get it on there. Hopefully I'm able to peel this off, because I'll tell you, my workers do a much better job than I do at this. Imagine doing this on a 12-foot tarp. Got to make sure you don't get any wrinkles or anything. So I've taken off both of these films of plastic which just hold it, and then it's just leaving a thin piece of adhesive. And you got to imagine that this is the ridge line. You want to get it absolutely perfect. I cut this with a scissors, but you want to, we do it on the slicer like we do the adhesive because we need a perfectly straight edge. So at this point, we actually have a machine that we fold this down and then we run it through, and it puts it through extreme pressure. And it is that pressure that activates the tape plus the silicone. And when it is done, and this has to cure for 24 hours after you do this, this seam is stronger. It is the strongest part of the tarp. It is fantastic. You get a good little ridge line on there. So you got a nice crisp ridge line up top. What we do then is we add the different shapes for the reinforcements, and then they wound up going into a hem which gets sewn on. So the fact that this is overlapping everything makes it so that you don't get a start right here, because this has great pull strength, but it does not have, or shear strength, but it does not have great rip strength. So if I actually pull on this, now that's pretty good, and this would cure, and I didn't put this under the pressure. But the fact that we mechanically put this over the whole seam on the ends for the reinforcement, it makes a fantastic bond. You can see on our side panel pullouts, we've applied that same adhesive. We actually put on a reinforcement, so you're getting a double layer. We sew on grosgrain, and then we put a BCD, and then I can put this anywhere on the tarp that I want to. It is really a peel and a stick, and then I have to apply a lot of pressure. I made some unfulfilled promises that we would be able to do this for people, that they could do this DIY, but we have found that the amount of pressure that needs to be applied to here, really we have to do it here in shop. But that is our bonding process, and it is one of the things that we are most proud of, because it is definitely an innovation that has improved tarps. It is lighter than the grosgrain. It is really strong. You're not perforating the material, and you don't have to seam seal year after year like you do when you sew a tarp. So, Richard, I really hope you found that educational. All right, let's go with David Schmood. Why don't you include a bag with the tarp pole kit? The one you use for the spreader bar bug net would be perfect. Well, we are a small cottage vendor, and you contact us and you say, hey, I would like one of those cute, cool little bags that you use for that. We would send that out to you. The reason we don't is because I don't use the bag, and I made that decision when I first started that the bag would be added weight, added manufacturing cost, and we didn't want to add that to it. And then you could give it as an option, and we might do that in the future because I've heard you and a couple others have asked for that. And I've been paying attention. I saw you post something about that on Facebook. It was a couple days ago. So it's a very valid question. And the real reason is that when I was through hiking, I really became a minimalist, and I disregarded stuff sacks, and I cut off tags. Matter of fact, the fact that we even have tags on our gear, such as this tag with the Dutchware and the Made in the USA, I only got that. They had to force it on me because when you add something like this, you added to the cost and you didn't add function. You added to the weight, and I also added a place where I could have a manufacturing defect. So the Tarp Pole Bag. Contact us, and for a couple bucks, we can get those out to you. It would be no problem at all. And maybe we'll go and put that in as an option. But people get they freeze when they get too many options. So that might be why we didn't do that as of yet. Let's do a giveaway. I'm going to do some giveaways through this, and my first one is going to be this really cool pair of matching. This is done with X-Pack, and this is Liquify, the Mint Liquify with a matching pillow. Look, you can even store your pillow in your bling bag. So, first person to do hashtag Dutchware wins that. Next time I'll give whether it's Facebook or YouTube. Right now, they'll just have to pick one from whoever was first. All right, let's go with Justin Cutler. Is there any chance you would consider making XL or even XXL Anaconda? My 12-foot Chameleon with 40-degree zip-on underquilt fits well enough in my large Anaconda, but I would love to be able to fit my setup 0-degree underquilt and winter too. You know, you can blame John Rammel for this because he makes his gear so compact and so small, and he was very instrumental in the developing of this. He went and he said, we're going to come out with 2 sizes. One's going to be the small, no, one's going to be regular, and the other one is large. And I looked at him, and my gear isn't quite as small as his because he is, I seen him in a 20-liter pack for a 2-night trip and carrying steaks and shrimp for dinner. He gets his gear really, really small. He's using the highest end materials possible. So when he thinks of a compression stuff sack, he really thinks that the regular, he calls it the regular, is regular for normal people, and that large would be something for me. And I understand where he was coming from with it. And when we did it, I was thinking to myself, I wish that was the small and the medium because I'd really like to have a large. I totally agree with you. And well, I'll send this out to Vicky now because Vicky is now starting to develop some of our products, and I'll tell Vicky, why don't we start patterning an extra large Anaconda, because I think that would be a fantastic addition, especially by winter, because people will need that by winter. So thank you, Justin. You've helped justify something that I've wanted for a long time. All right. Talk me into a 12-foot Chameleon so I can use double Dutch bug net with my grandsons. Will it work with the 12-foot Chameleons? Well, in fact, it does work. The double Dutch, all the accessories do fit all of the Chameleon bodies, and that actually, that was one of the great parts of the Chameleon is you can interchange all these different parts. So to talk you into it, well, really I have only 2 questions. One is, how tall are you? Because really to justify a 12-foot Chameleon, I really believe someone should be over 6 foot tall. And is weight important? Because if weight's not important, then get a 12-foot Chameleon because they sure are luxurious. I find it to be a little bit bigger, a little bit too big for me, and I'm at 6 foot. So I usually use it as a threshold. Anything taller than that, and I'll go with a wide or 12 foot. On the topics, this is Kevin Munson. On the topic of fabrics, why are most of our sil poly and not sil nylon? What are the advantages or disadvantages of each when it comes to using it as a hammock fabric? I am going to assume that you meant a tarp fabric since we're talking sil poly and sil nylon. And generally on a hammock fabric, nylon is the way to go. And the reason that is the case is the amount of stretch that you get out of nylon plus the strength is super important. Pretty much the hammock world has switched from the sil nylon to sil poly. I want you to imagine that sil nylon was especially used for tents, and it kind of helps that those tents have stretch. You got those spreader bars in it, and it kind of makes it so things are taut with those spreader bars. But then you put that onto a hammock, and you put it above the hammock, and you don't usually have those spreader bars in there. And you go and you pull it tight, and then as it rains, particularly as it rains, or even with just time, it has more stretch than the polyester. So people would have to overcome that. One way they would overcome that would be to put tarp tensioners so that as it stretched, there was something to take up that slack. I remember actually having to go out and, after a couple hours, I would tighten things down because things would just be sagging a little bit. One of the characteristics of polyester is that it doesn't stretch. So it makes fantastic tarp material. It also doesn't absorb moisture, which is pretty important for a tarp. You will actually absorb moisture into the sil nylon, and it takes longer time for it to dry than the polyester. So our xenon fabric, which is of course a polyester, it makes it so you really don't need cat cuts and tarp tensioners because it's keeping its tautness throughout the night, and it's not going to absorb moisture, and rain, which is particularly when you don't want your tarp starting to sag, will not make it stretch as nylon does. So excellent question. Jay Claw. Someone says something, and I have not tried it out yet. And he goes into talking about how insulation on the bottom is not as important as insulation on the top, and it relates it to a mattress. I have a quilted Chameleon that I have sitting in my office that every now and then I will take a nap in, and I have one of the few offices that are not air conditioned here, and it is hot. And although I would probably be good to set up one that is not, it does not bother me that much because your heat rises, it does not go down. And the reason this relates to a mattress is you don't have a summertime mattress in your home. You have that same mattress. That is a lot of insulation that is underneath you. And when it is hot in the summertime, what you do is you go down to sheets. You change the top, you don't change the bottom. Are you going to be cooler if you don't have any insulation and it's 90 degrees? That is the case, and probably that's the way you should go. But you will not be terribly uncomfortable at 60 degrees with a 20-degree underquilt if you have light enough insulation on top of you. I'm talking maybe just a quilt liner or something like that, because your heat is going to leave your body going upwards and not downward. When it is really hot though, I will say I really like the no insulation. Here in Pennsylvania, very rarely does it get down to, does it stay a temperature at night that you can completely go without an underquilt. It generally is going to go down under 70, although this summer has been a blister. So this summer is it's been terrible lately, so it has been look at that, I got a fly. Did I tell you about the flies? I'm training flies now. Yeah. Kill it at least. All right. Sorry, we have a lot of fun with flies here. So, all right, where was I at? This is Ryan Mann, and I want to thank everybody tonight that put in these questions, for putting these questions. I also want to thank them for having names I can pronounce. So, Ryan, the live streams have all been focused on gathered end hammocks. Can you do one featuring Banyan Bridge hammock and all the ins and outs? You know, I have been really thrilled lately that people have really been learning about the bridge hammock. I really like bridge hammocks. And Ryan, that is an excellent idea. When we get back on to doing live streams, I want to do one dedicated for bridge hammocks. I'm very excited. There's actually, I don't know if I'm going to get it done this year. The Banyan has, it was successful from the get-go because, first of all, the way it holds up off the bug net off of you is fantastic. It has that dual ridge line that makes it feel a lot less claustrophobic. But you can interchange the tops, and you can add things like the side sling to it. So, but lately, it has really been gaining steam, and we've been producing them. I mean, they used to be 1 or 2 a day, and now it is it has become more, and we've had to dedicate more staff to making them. So, I have been delighted by that, and I love to do when we do start on our live streams again. Fee, let's put that on the list so that we can accomplish that. All right, I hope you guys are putting questions in there. I'm going to answer some more questions later, but I wanted to go over, we talked about some of the things that we're doing here. And so one thing you may have noticed is we have been increasing our video content, and this has been very intentional. So about a year ago, we took a hard look at, we had somebody doing our marketing for us, and they did SEO work for us and Facebook posts. And the Facebook posts are like, well, they're a lot like everybody else's Facebook posts. You know, sometimes they pull in stock photographs and saying, where did you hike at last week? And man, I was paying a lot of money for that marketing, for SEO work and things like that. So we have changed that because we are a DIY company, and all this stuff, I mean, when you go and you see the bonding, the printing, the development of fabrics, many of the plastic hardware, the 3D printing, I mean, we are really trying to do that ourselves, and it just seems so much more effective if we just do it ourselves. If we do our own videos, our own marketing, our own Facebook page. I have a fantastic crew that has been really, I mean, they have way more knowledge and way more creativity than somebody who their goal really, the marketing companies, they're really marketing to you or to the companies. They're marketing to me, saying they're going to be marketing to you, and they don't even know what they're really talking about. And their goal is to sell, but it's really to sell more marketing. And whether or not it's effective, we did not feel that it was cost effective. So if it's not cost effective, it's adding to your price. These videos that we do is our labor that we put into it. And actually, if you've seen some of them, we've done some funny little skits and stuff. It actually is, it's us putting our love into it. So we feel that we can do a much more effective way. And I hope you enjoy the videos. Hope you like and subscribe, because we are trying to put out many different types of content. Some of them are about products. Some of them are about trips where I go hiking. And we really want to do a lot of educational stuff where we teach things like the bonding. So, lean manufacturing. You know, we have been pushing this for a couple years now. We have decided that we are going to keep our manufacturing here in the United States. And the American manufacturer, the American worker, is still some of the most efficient worker on the planet. And when I hear companies that need to outsource because they say that they can't find Americans to work, it really burns me up, because I know that's not true. I know that Americans want to work, and they are some of the hardest working people on the planet. And we need really good lean manufacturing put in place so that things are efficient, so that you're utilizing that labor as the best you can, so that you can produce a product in a way that pays that worker enough money. And that is what we have been really dedicated to. It is really building up steam lately, and we have put many things in place to really streamline things through so that you can get a custom hammock in, well, we're shooting for under 4 days. That's even if it's printed, and that is our goal, and we're going to make that happen. So, anyhow, let's quality assurance. You know, that is the other thing. Part of being a lean manufacturer means that you have to do it right the first time. And if you're going to be doing it, your quality assurance right where the manufacturing is done, that is the way to do it. It's not after it gets shipped. It's not when the product is done and you check it at the end of the line. You need to check at every step. When I did this and I put this on here, if this was done and it had a bunch of wrinkles in it, and nobody says, hey, that's no good, and then you go and you run it through the press, and you take the time to do this and do all the hem and finish it all up, but there's a wrinkle in it, and when you do this process, if there's a wrinkle in it, rainwater can get into it. There can't be any wrinkles on this. So you need to do the quality assurance at every step of the manufacturing process. We know that really well. Actually, I used to be a quality manager at a company, so I'm really well versed in doing it right from each step. And step one gets done, and the person doing step two is checking step one. And people are checking their own work plus previous work, and things get stopped early. What you don't want to do is do it at the end of the line. And when I hear companies go and say, we have our manufacturing done in Asia, but we do our quality assurance in America, that's telling me, A, they don't trust their quality coming out of the Asian countries, which I tend to agree with, but B, it is way too late after that product has been totally manufactured, shipped to you, and then you have to make a decision whether or not it's good or bad. When you're making a decision at that point, then you got a whole lot of parts, a whole shipment, you paid for shipping, and you have to make a financial decision. Oh, I don't really like that, but I have to live with that because either A, I got to fulfill my customers' orders and I can't wait another 3 months, or B, it is not economical for me to go and to reject this entire lot because that entire lot is all the manufacturing I'm getting for the next 2 months or something. When you do it step by step, that's why it's so important, is if I get a wrinkle in this tarp and I throw this away, I'm losing $15 worth of material, maybe $20 worth of material. And that is an easy decision to make. It's not perfect. Let's do it right, and let's make a quality product that is perfect. So, customer service, you know, we have our telephone number, and you're not going to see this at too darn many companies, right prominently, right on our page. We don't always answer the phone because we're very often working with customers and we're busy, but if you call us, you're going to get our customer service, and we want to hear from you. We want to hear from you either email or telephone, and this is true for before the purchase because we want to make sure things are perfect going to you in the beginning, but it's also true afterwards. If you have questions afterwards, you can give us a call. You can drop us an email. That they are the best two methods. We do have Facebook Messenger, but it's really hard to keep track of that, and there's always a lot of scams in there, so you got to weed through them. So talk to us because, you know, maybe you can give us feedback on how we can improve it, and we always want to improve. Maybe you have a question on the best way to use a product, and if you make these questions beforehand, we want to find out what your weight is, what you're going to use the product for, so that we can make the perfect product for you, because truthfully, that is what we want to do. And innovation. So when we talk about the Dutchware difference, what I'm really trying to speak of is the, we try to go a different way, such as the bonding. When you think about the Chameleon, the way the Chameleon interchanges all the tops, that you can put two together and you can put different tops on. You can have one for winter. You can change out the bottom, so you could have the quilted. You could have different degrees on the quilted. We're still adding to the Chameleon. We just recently added the quilted Chameleon, which has been a fantastic addition. And actually, I've been very surprised because we intentionally launched that in the spring so that we wouldn't get blown away like we will in the wintertime. So we've been getting a lot of those hammocks made out of the way because it is a, well, we have to make a quilt on every single hammock. So we want to be the innovators of this industry, and actually sometimes it's your feedback that helps us do that. All right, future products. I get excited by this, and actually the way things have been going here, this has become my biggest job, and the is developing new products. And I love doing this because it gets to use my creativity. I get to go out hiking to go and test this stuff out, which is fantastic. You're going to see a lot of videos coming out for some hikes that I've been going on, because I've been getting out doing some training for the thru hike that I got coming up. But making a new product is what I really enjoy. So one thing we can add to this list now, I guess, is the extra large Anaconda. So that would be the kind of feedback that you send us, that we get to go and make life better for people. So we have a new food bag, which doesn't sound like that would be very exciting, but we think we have an innovation for that, a new development on that we think is going to be an improvement over obviously everything that's out there. And look forward to that. Hopefully, I'm going to say about 2 weeks or so. We are working on improving, and this one is, people might go and get mad at me for this one because people love these things, but we're looking to improve the beetle buckle. And you may think, how can I improve the beetle buckle? But we think that we have an improvement on there that will make them easier to move, particularly for people that are new to hammock camping, and the way you hold it to adjust it, we think we can make that a little bit easier and a little bit easier to adjust. But then gets the real exciting stuff. So as many of you probably know, I'm through hiking the AT, leaving in January with my daughter, and it is something that I'm seriously gearing up for. And for that, we are developing a new hammock for it that is going to be like the Chameleon. As you know, it's been fantastic. We developed it. We've been making it since 2017. And, well, I love the Chameleon. But I want to make a new hammock that we're going to develop just for my thru hike. It'll be a very good test for it. And I really believe these guys are really going to like this, because there's been some things that I've been thinking about. I mean, a Chameleon, how old is it? It's like we're at 7-year-old hammock that, you know, you get to thinking, you know, if I could just do this one thing or this one thing. And the Chameleon platform has been very versatile, but there's room for more, right? So I'm really excited by that. Also, we're going to make a new Clark hammock that we've been developing, and I hope that the thru hiker hammock is going to be the one that's going to be the priority, but I'm really hoping to be able to develop that this year. And the Clark line, we purchased that in 2019, and we really didn't do anything to it. They taught us how to make the NX 270. They taught us how to make the Vertex, and we made them no problem. But it is it might be a 30-year hammock now. I'm pretty sure that hammock is 30 years in its development. And I know the Clark fans out there, they would love to see a new product. And what we're going to try to do is to use some modern materials and lighten it up a little bit. So I hope you find that exciting. All right, so we have we change on the deuce scoop, and they can show a picture of the deuce scoop here. So deuce scoop has been something that we've been making for a long time, and the name is fantastic. So and you know, we want to practice leave no trace, but we don't want to carry a whole bunch of weight. And one of the problems with the deuce scoop is the titanium, although it's very thin because it's very strong, it's hard on your hands. So we added a plastic piece to the back of it so that you can really get your hand in behind it and get pushing on it. And to celebrate this, we're knocking the price over 50% off on it. So we're going to be doing a sale on this thing. I was really thrilled with this because part of our manufacturing, we really looked at it and we're like, how low can I go? And I was really excited to be able to go down to $10 on a titanium trowel. I mean, I think that's what they cost if they're plastic. And this is going to be much lighter, they're strong, and of course they don't rust. So get excited by that. So some of the things that have been bringing this, these changes, the quality, the innovation, and the and all those things has, I know I'm the face of Dutchware, but there have been changes in here, and well, one of them has been Fee. So Fee, come over here. He's a little shy, all right, but yeah. So Fee here has been he's been my partner now. He's an owner of Dutchware, and believe me, he's been very instrumental in putting these things in place. He's also been a true friend. So peace, and he is bringing things to you that you just don't know. And well, I like embarrassing him like that. All right. Well, hopefully I have some questions lined up. So bear with me while I log on and. Yeah, let's do a giveaway. That's a good one. So, so this giveaway is Facebook, and I'm a little shy on the actual things, but we're going to do a $25 gift certificate. There we go. All right. All right. So, Facebook. The first person to post hashtag Deuce Scoop gets a $25 gift certificate. And at the end of this, I'm going to give it a $50 gift certificate. So stay to the end. All right. So, will you be making a banyan with sewn-in underquilt? You know, that is really pretty easy to do. And yes, the answer is yes. We also hope to, I was going to try to develop a new bridge hammock, and something that's a little bit simpler to manufacture than the banyan. So I don't know that I'm going to get to that this year, but that was definitely going to be installation. But, you know, yes, we can do that. And that is in the works that we are hoping to put that. It's just a little bit on the back burner. We got a couple of the things. It takes a long time to get through each product that we're trying to develop. But I would look for that hopefully this year. Vicki, you can put that on the list. Any plans to change the banyan? Short of doing the quilt onto it, I don't know that I do, because, well, I am somewhat locked into exactly that design with exactly that zipper. If I went and I made too many changes to it, then one of the beautiful parts about this is you can purchase a banyan and then a winter top cover later. But if I go changing to Rev 2, then I'll have to know what rev you have in order to change the top. So although I do not have much plans of changing the banyan, short of maybe an additional item like a new pocket or insulating it on the bottom, but I do have plans of making a new bridge hammock because they have really been gaining in popularity. I actually have been blown away by the amount of banyans that we've been making lately. I didn't think we were selling so many, and then we looked at it and we were like, oh wow, we're really putting a lot of banyans out there. An ultralight quilted Chameleon. So the Dobby material that we are currently using is a 1.9, and it is working really well, but I do have a plan to get a little bit lighter of a Dobby material. I need to get through the majority of my 1.9 fabric, and but so I can reduce the weight slightly there. I could also reduce the weight with using 0.49 argon on the outside, but it's really not going to reduce the weight much, and it's going to increase the cost. So if you ask me nicely in an email, we might be able to make one with 0.49, but it's not something that I plan on really introducing. Where we're really going to come in ultralight is my through hiker hammock that I'm making. I'm going to try to make something that uses something a little bit more simple than the Chameleon, but still has some of the advantages like interchangeable top. And we're hoping to be coming out with that, I'm going to say weeks. We're down to weeks. It might be 20 weeks, but we're down to about weeks on that. But we are working hard on developing that hammock. The through hiker is going to be an ultralight hammock, and we are hoping to make quilting available for that. So other than that, the way to make an ultralight quilted Chameleon would be after we can switch to a lighter Dobby material, and of course the 0.49 fabric on the outside. Also, we could use higher end down, but I want to warn you guys that the cost of high fill power down is really, really, really high. It is the cost of the down for me just to go from 850 to 900 fill almost doubles my cost in the cost of the down. And to go to 1,000, it is well over double the cost. And well, we have to decide whether or not the market's going to bear that. I really don't want to make $500 hammocks. Will you be making any more types of freeze-dried candies? I think I did hear something where, there's these things where there's runts on a gummy that can be freeze-dried, and we are about to redo the freeze-drying because, well, we're running out of stock on items, and we need to spend more attention on that. We've been working really hard on some of the other innovations that we have done, and I feel like I have neglected that, because if you look on our store, a lot of our stuff's out of stock, which means that we're not producing what we have, much less increasing, and the goal always was to increase it so that we could be offering freeze-dried carrots and freeze-dried pastas and freeze-dried onions, and and then finally freeze-dried meals, which I would really love to have Dutchware, which is Dutch's Trail Magic. I would love to have Dutch's Trail Magic freeze-dried meals when I through hike, and I'm going to tell you it's probably going to be a challenge to get that done by January, but maybe I can be doing some beta testing or something of that nature. So on the candy front, yes, but I think I only know of one. If you have any ideas, please send them in to us. but we really need to expand all the ingredients that we do, the freeze-dried meats and the freeze-dried vegetables and pastas and things like that. If I send back my tarp, can you add bonded side panel pullouts? And yes, we can, and that is really no problem. The only challenge would be is if it was really wrinkled, and even if it's really wrinkled, I think we can put a warm iron onto it and get it smooth enough. We should have no problem doing that. So send Vicky an email and we'll take care of that. All right, let's do another giveaway. This is for a gift certificate, and we'll do a $25 gift certificate. We're going to do this on YouTube, and the first person to come in with hashtag Dutchware gets $25 gift certificate. All right. Oh, can we see videos featuring some of your employees? Well, I just gave you one. No, I really want to do this. The employees don't always want to do it, and I would love to feature each one. And I love my employees. They are the best, the most dedicated, and hardworking when they show up. And I would love to do little spot videos. You certainly have seen some though, and all the characters that you ever see us going and putting into our videos, we're pulling them off the floor and telling them, hey, we're shooting a video today. And but I would really love to highlight those things. Some of them are shy, and particularly some of them are camera shy. And but I think that's a great idea. And we have, it's I think 25 employees here, and each one of them have, the unique qualities that that make up this whole team. So the answer is, darn it, we should do that. And hopefully the powers that make up our video schedule do that. And we're always looking for more video content. So I always wanted to spotlight the different departments and the different employees. And well, like I said, they're a little shy. Can a customer stop and shop and see products and discuss the best options? Absolutely. I bet we had 10 customers through today. It's not something where I have a store here, and I kind of do have to be careful because I'm not sure that insurance really. I would not want to run a department store here, and we are a factory. It also it really does take away. I mean, very rarely does a customer come in and they don't get an hour dedicated to somebody's time. I love to give tours of this place because this place is fantastic. You can't imagine. It's like Willy Wonka's hammock factory. That there are things going on in here that the laser cutting, the dye sublimation, the way the products flow through the place has well, it is fantastic. So the answer is yes. Come see us. The best way to do it, we're generally open 8 to 4, but the best way to do it is to send Vicky an email, sales@dutchwaregear.com, so that she sets up an appointment. And we very often bring people in to have them test out the different hammocks and tarps. We generally are going to have something in stock that we can make the explanations of how the Chameleon works, and you get to feel the fabrics. I think that's what's really exciting. That's why the Hexon, I think the Hexon is the world's best hammock fabric, and you don't know that until you feel it, because it has a certain feel that you're not going to get in any old ripstop. So, what tarp works best with the banyan? I really like the rectangle tarp. Now, I'm a fan of the rectangle tarp for the netless, and I'm a fan of it for the half wit, and I'm a fan of it for the Chameleon, but it certainly is closer to the shape of a banyan. The basically anything except for a hex is going to work. And but one of the best options on there is we have side panel pullouts, and when it is a gathered end, we put them at a certain location. But when it is a banyan, we move them further out to the ends to where the spreader bars go. So it is getting wide where you want it to be wide versus the way a gathered end is. We want to go and put the tie outs closer to the middle because you want to have more space in the middle because of the shape of it. So the answer to your question is 12-foot rectangle with side panel pull outs, and it should be printed with Dutchware on it. Any plans for an XXL bridge hammock for large guys? Oh boy, I have in the works a bridge hammock that I have been toying with. I have many different iterations of this, and it does complement people. I have broad shoulders, and it does complement people, particularly with broad shoulders. And I can give a shout out to Pete Townsend. He makes a very good hammock that is, his big boy hammocks are fantastic for this. I hope to come out with something, it's different, but I hope to come out with something as good as what he has, but you may want to look at him in the interim because he makes a fantastic product. What about freeze-dried, refried beans? All right. That sounds great. We have to do it, and then we will see how it reconstitutes. It may not reconstitute well, but I can only imagine that would be pretty good. However, I'm not going to double Dutch with you. So, any more innovation using the Cloud 71? Well, what have we thought about? Recently, that has come up. We have considered doing a gear sling with the Cloud 71 material. We think the fact that it's light and airy will work well as a gear sling. And also, you know how the Anaconda has that big long sleeve that you can put your whole setup in there? I really like the Anaconda, but some people have been requesting lately to just get that sleeve. And well, we're discussing whether or not we want to make it a product. We're not totally sure. Right now, people are emailing us, and we are making it for them. But but that would be, that's the best areas. We do make a Gidget bag like this that I really like because it's super light. And the reason I like it that it's made out of Cloud material is, well, things dry in it. And if I use this as a travel bag, I really like to have things like my toothbrush in there. And that's something that you want to have the air come out on. So you want the items to be able to dry and have air blow through them. That's what I should say there. So the Gidget bag, the other thing is it's super light. This actually is quite heavy. This is something that I would not take backpacking because it's made out of X-Pack material. And, well, if I stuff this hard enough, I could get a fantastic football. It's so tough. All right. I don't know where I saw it, but somebody had another question for me. All right. I just lost it. All right. Let's go to the big. We're coming to the end. So the big giveaway, which we'll do, $50 giveaway, $50 gift certificate. What are we doing for this? YouTube? All right. So this is on YouTube, and all right. So let's do Hashtag Banyan. And first person does that wins the $50 gift certificate. All right, well, that's going to bring us to the end. Thank you, everybody that contributed with questions. Actually, I worry when I do this that I'm going to get silly questions, and these were very excellent questions. So thank you for tuning in. It really means the world to me that I can sit up here and awkwardly talk to you guys, and people will actually listen to me. It amazes me that that can actually happen. So with that, I'm going to go with thank you, everybody.